back and live here from PPG Paints Arena. I'm Dave Fisher, and we're pleased to be joined by a couple of Kobys, and I'll let the players each introduce themselves. And guys, please name, year, position, and where you're from.
I'm Koby Roth. I'm number 10. I'm a left wing, and I'm a senior.
And then Koby Bender, right wing, number 11, and I'm also a senior from Cloquet, Minnesota.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you joining us. Congratulations, and we'll take questions now. We'll, Jim, first start with you. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Fish. This question, Jim Connolly from U.S. College Hockey Online. This question's for both of you, if you don't mind. When you guys heard that UMass had some COVID issues this week, was it just kind of like water off your back? You don't pay attention to it, or does it kind of grab your eyes for a second? Does it matter at this point?
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think we obviously saw that and we were a little shocked. I think we've just been trying to do everything that we can to make sure that we don't have any issues like that, and that we're staying safe and doing the right things.
Yeah, just like Koby said, kind of the same thing that happened to us in Fargo a couple weekends ago with Michigan. We're just trying to focus on ourselves. Obviously kind of a little shocked at first, but we're just focusing on ourselves right now and just getting better every day.
All right, Jim, thanks for that question. Guys, how are we going to delineate you? And when we get questions for both of you, like let's go with nicknames. All right, Bender, what are you going with for a nickname for this?
Just Bender's fine.
All right. What about you, Roth?
You can call me Rother.
Rother. All right, good. We're going to have to go with that. It's the first time we've had two guys with the same name here doing this. All right. Thanks, guys. Matt Wellens, your mic is open. Please go ahead.
Matt Wellens from the Duluth News Tribune. Question for Koby with a Y, Mr. Bender. This is your third Frozen Four that you've been to, but the first one, you're actually going to be out there skating and playing. What does it mean after everything you've gone through in your career as a Bulldog to get in this point, to be playing in the game now finally, and to be making the impact that both you and your line mate have had this year?
Yeah, it's exciting. Watching the first two, obviously learning from those guys that are older than me and watching them have so much success. I think I'm just ready to get out there and, do the best that I can to help our team win.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Jason, you're up next. Please go ahead.
Yep. Jason Scales with Inside Hockey. This one's for both of you. Obviously, the program itself has a lot of success over the past few years. What's been the keys to success for this season, 2021?
Rother?
I think just sticking with it. My 4 years here, had the chance to be on a lot of good teams. Just like this year, a lot of ups and downs. Whoever we're playing, though, we have the trust in one another, and we believe we can beat anybody. So I think it's just having that belief every game. We can beat anyone when we play our game.
KB?
Yeah, like he said, it's kind of been a weird year this year with COVID and everything. So I think we've just been trying to keep to ourselves, do the best that we can do, and not really worry about other teams and setbacks that they may have. We're just trying to focus on us and become better every single day. So.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. Guys, talk about Pittsburgh. Have you been here before? Any history? You obviously were out on the ice, and just your impressions of the venue and being here. And Rother, let's start with you.
I love it so far. Never been to Pittsburgh. Got to explore the city a little bit yesterday. Walked around a little bit. Nothing but good things. It's really exciting to be here, and honestly, probably one of my favorite cities we've been in traveling for hockey. So I'm really excited.
KB?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite trips that we've been on. Not just because it's the Frozen Four, obviously, but great city. And I actually was a big Penguins fan growing up, so it's pretty cool to be here and see the rink and everything. So.
All right, Don, your mic is open. Welcome. Please go ahead.
All right. Hello. This is Dawn Mitchell from Fox 9 in Minneapolis. This is for both of you. With so much riding on your third Frozen Four championship on the line, fourth straight championship game potentially, and knowing already a Minnesota team is going to be in the final and it's up to you to make it in all Minnesota, how do you keep all of those pressures in check? And has playing in COVID kind of helped that for you?
KB?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it'd be cool to have an all Minnesota final. I think we're just trying to, play our game. We're not too worried about, looking past this first game against UMass. I think we're really focused on them right now because they're a really good team. And we're just going to, take it day by day and do the things that we need to do to get ready for tomorrow. So.
Yeah, like Bender said, just taking it one game at a time. Obviously, it's awesome for the state of Minnesota. But like you said, with the COVID, we've been through a lot this year, so we can kind of handle it all at this point, I think, and we're just focusing on the next game right now.
All right, thanks, Don. Mr. Connolly, back to you.
Thanks, Fish. Guys, what does experience mean at this point? The fact that whether you've actually been on the ice or just the team's been there, and you're going up against teams, three of them really in this Frozen Four that don't have a lot of experience that's similar. What does experience really mean?
Go ahead, Rother.
I think it's huge. Obviously, we've had a lot of guys who have been in this situation before, so we just kind of try to lead by example as an older guy, kind of rub off on the younger guys. But I think collectively as a group, we all just trust one another, and every game, like I said, we're going into, we believe we can win it, and when we play the way that we can, we can.
KB, chip in there.
Yeah, I agree with what he said. Obviously, experience, it comes down to, the older guys leading the younger guys. But after a while, I think you just got to try and play hockey. Every team at this point is good, and they're going to give you their best every night. So you just got to, play your game, and hopefully you come out on top. So.
All right, thank you, Jim. Mr. Wellens, you're up.
This question's for both guys, Mr. Bender and Mr. Roth. That goal you guys had disallowed in Fargo, nice goal. I'm wondering if you guys could take us through that. I feel like that goal's been typical of what the two of you have been able to do a lot this year. Maybe just take us through the emotions of what all went on there.
Mr. Bender.
Yeah, so I got the puck and kind of bobbled on me a little bit, and when I got it back, I just kind of stopped up and hit Kobes, and he buried it. But, it was kind of weird. They went to review it, and I didn't really think anything of it until I guess I realized that I bobbled it a little bit there close to the blue line, and after they called it back, I was a little shocked. But, it was a close play, so, yeah, I guess it was an emotional roller coaster, I suppose.
Yeah,
Mr. Roth.
I agree with what Bender said, emotional roller coaster. Kind of the same play that's been happening all year, I guess, with Bender. I just try and get open, and all of a sudden the puck's on my stick, and I have kind of a backdoor pass, so was lucky enough to get it in. Honestly, when they reviewed it, I thought there was no chance. I didn't even know what they were going to be looking at. That was tough. Obviously, the way the regulation ended there, going down, getting 2 goals scored on us right at the end, and then scoring that overtime goal, thought it was all over, and then had to go back again, so it was tough. But kind of like how it's been all year, we just stick together and we fight through things, and we were lucky enough to get that win at the end there.
Guys, Fish, can I do a quick follow-up?
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Guys, is that sequence kind of becoming muscle memory for the two of you at this point here? It was just such an eerily familiar play, minus the slight bobble by Bender there.
Yeah, I think he's good at getting open and just trying to find areas to get him the puck. We've been doing it every once in a while this year. So, muscle memory, I think, just comes with playing hockey. So, yeah, we've been fortunate enough to have a few of those this year.
You got anything to chime in there on there, Rother?
Yeah, honestly, it kind of is like I just have that trust in Bender. Feels like if my stick, if I'm open for 2 seconds, it's going to be on my stick, and he puts it in the perfect spot every time. So just really lucky to be playing with him.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Matt. Mike, go right ahead. Your mic should be open. I think Mike Grimm, you should be okay to proceed. Can you hear us, Mike?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go right ahead, Mike.
Sorry about that. Mike Grimm, Minnesota News Network. Going back to that night against North Dakota, how long did it take for both you guys and maybe your teammates to physically recover to where your legs are, ready? And two, how about mentally to come down from a game like that?
Bender?
Yeah, I feel like the mental part might have been a little more actually. I feel like we were just kind of, battling through that game. And then once it was over, it was just kind of like a relief for us. The physical side of it, it took, a couple days to get back to normal, and we had a couple days off there. So it was nice to get back and kind of rest there. But yeah, both physical and mentally, it was a tough grind there.
Rother?
Yeah, I agree with Bender there with mentally. I think when that game was over, it honestly kind of felt like a dream. We were talking about it in overtime, after the third or fourth overtime, I felt like I couldn't even remember what I did that entire last overtime. Physically, kind of the same thing, couple days. I don't think I got much sleep the night after the game. I was kind of wired still. Then the next couple days, got to sleep in a little bit and get some rest. But yeah, definitely a couple days.
All right, Mike, thanks. Great question. Jasfina, your mic is open. Go ahead, please.
Joshvina Shah, College Hockey News. So I'd be remiss not to ask this because Matt reminded me of it the other day. What's the weirdest thing you've bought on Amazon?
Trying to think off the top of my head here.
Bender?
I honestly, I don't buy a ton on Amazon. I just bought a 12-pack of cards because we run out of cards a lot at our house. We like to play that. But yeah, I'm not much of an Amazon guy, but Koby definitely has a lot of packages from Amazon, so I'll let him answer this one.
I can't think of any. I know I've bought some weird things off Amazon just off the top of my head. I can't think of anything really, but I've been going through a weird phase of toothpaste. I've been buying a lot of toothpaste on Amazon. I don't know why, but toothpaste is my hot thing lately.
Do you try different toothpastes?
Yeah. I've been seeing stuff on TikTok, different toothpaste, different routines, so that's been a weird one that I've been into lately.
Yeah, I respect that.
All right, Jasfina, thanks. Toothpaste and cards. All right. Dawn, over to you.
Dawn Mitchell from Fox 9 again. Back to the 5 overtime game. You guys talk about mentally getting over it. It was almost like a best of 3 series in one game. What did you guys learn from yourselves in terms of, were you impressed with your own endurance, or what did it teach you guys going forward? Because you're the first to ever do it, and it's a unique experience. All
right, why don't we start with you, Rother?
Yeah, I think just fighting through everything, like you said, mentally. When you think about it, how many overtimes and how many periods we just played there, it seems pretty insane, but in the heat of the moment, you're just with your brothers and everyone's trying to lift each other up and you're fighting through it together. So, I think we just proved, how good of a team we can be and what we're capable of. So we're trying to take that into this weekend.
Mr. Bender.
Yeah, I think a big part of it was in between each overtime in the locker room. I think we were just trying to stay focused, even though we were all tired. We could see that. I think we were just trying to do anything we could to get energy back. Whether it was granola bars or staying hydrated, or all of us were laying down at one point, keeping our feet up to get the lactic acid out. So, I think mentally we were just trying to do everything that we could to stay on top of our game. So.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Don. Jim, please go ahead.
Thanks, Fish. Jim Connolly from USCHO again. Going back to the experience question, this has been obviously a year that hasn't felt like any other. Does this Frozen Four, has this trip to the Frozen Four felt a little different for either of you guys?
Bender?
No, maybe just with the regulations and stuff, you got to wear masks everywhere like usual this year, but I think everything's kind of been the same for us. Flying and just getting here and settling in and everything and practicing on the rink for the first time is still a cool experience. So as far as that goes, I think we've had a good experience so far, and it's felt good to get here and get our legs under us with that first practice there. So yeah,
I agree with what Bender said. Not a lot different. I mean, we were kind of used to no fans at the beginning of the year, so anytime there's any amount of fans, we're really thankful, and it's awesome to see. So looking forward to it. And yeah, I would say not much different. Anytime you can make it to a Frozen Four, it's awesome. You just try to take it all in. So excited.
All right, great. Thanks, guys. Matt?
Matt Wellens, Duluth News Tribune. Yeah, that was me who brought up the Amazon story to Josh Vina from a few years ago. Guys, kind of follow up to Jim's question there. Today is usually a pretty hectic day. There's, you're talking to people on Zoom now instead of a crowded press conference. You usually have reporters in the locker room, fans in the stand watching practice, reporters on the bench. Did you guys notice any of that today as practice has gone on, or has the pandemic kind of made, Zoom press conferences and practicing in empty buildings normal now?
Rother?
Yeah, just hearing you say that kind of brings back the memories of, like all the media that was always around during the Frozen Four, so that's obviously a little different. But, I mean, during practice, you're just kind of trying to focus on yourself and focus on the team, so it hasn't been that much different.
Bender?
Yeah, I'd agree. The Zooms have kind of gotten more normal as we've gone in through the year, and there were some people up in the stands, so that wasn't too different. But yeah, it's been a different year for sure with media and fans and everything. But we're just happy to be here. So.
And Mr. Wellens, what is the oddest thing you have purchased on Amazon while we have you?
Oh wow, I buy a lot of. My wife, I better be honest about this or my wife's going to correct me later. I buy a lot of cords, and I'm also about bringing lightning cords, USB-C cords, just any random cord I may need throughout a weekend. I have a lot of cords and phone and car chargers and such.
All right. Well, we're learning a lot here at today's press conference. Anything else for the players? I don't see any other hands up. So guys, thank you very much, and we wish you the best of luck in the national semifinals tomorrow night. Appreciate you being here. We'll let you guys go. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Here's the head coach of the UMD Bulldogs, two-time defending national champions, Coach Sandelin. Thanks for being with us. Welcome back to the Frozen Four, and just some opening thoughts here as we get going.
Yeah, just excited to get going. Fish obviously got here on Monday, and the guys were excited to get on the ice, and certainly excited to get back playing here tomorrow. So it's a fun time, and we're looking forward to it.
All right. Those of you with questions, again, we'll use the raise hand function. And again, just your name and affiliation each time, please. And Jason, we'll start with you.
Yep, Coach Jason Scales with Inside Hockey. You guys have obviously had a lot of success over the last few years, but what has been the key to this year, 2021 success to this point?
Survival. No, you know what? We've had a really good leadership group. I got to give those guys a lot of credit. We knew that coming in that we were going to count on our juniors and seniors, and I think those guys have been really good for our team this year, production-wise and leadership-wise. And, again, for everybody, it's just been a lot of craziness to the year and ups and downs. But I think, this group's kind of got that stick-to-it mentality, and I think that was evident, even in the regional and towards the end of the year. But I think it's a big part of it is those guys that have been here before, and we're excited about getting back here, and that's what we've accomplished so far.
All right, Jason, thanks very much. Josh Feenet, your mic is open. Please go ahead.
Josh Shaw, College Hockey News. So now this is 2 times that you've come or that you've been playing a team that's been impacted or supposed to play a team impacted by COVID. And I know the players were saying like, we're focusing on ourselves, we're sticking to our game, but it's still kind of like a very anxiety inducing thing to be around. So I'm curious as to like how you kind of handle that with the team over that week gap, and how you're kind of helping them just stay sort of even keeled and focused on the task at hand.
Well, again, it's unfortunate, very unfortunate, and you feel for those players. But again, what our players are saying, we haven't had a lot of discussion about it, really. I mean, those guys, they read social media. They know what's going on. Again, it doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't make it any easier. I mean, you feel for those players, and we've got to worry about what we need to do, regardless of who's in their lineup. They're a good hockey team. They've got a lot of depth. You see it time and time again whether there's injuries or a lot of different guys step up, and I'm sure that's going to be the same for those guys tomorrow. So we've got to bring our best, and we've got to focus on what we need to do, and that's what our guys are trying to do.
All right, thanks, Jasmina. Next up, Jim Connolly. Jim, your mic's open. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Fish. Jim Connolly from USCHO. Scott, I know you've probably been asked this a lot now, but 4 straight Frozen Fours, it's an experience, I think, for every player, and I think you can build and build and build. How much has the building on being here and maybe just the whole process of what you go through when you're on the ground changed year to year, and what have you learned most from just being here so many times in a row?
You learn a lot. I mean, I think, but certainly for me too. I was fortunate to go through a couple at North Dakota, and then the first one, in 2004, and I've learned some things from that too, where I think maybe we didn't let our players enjoy it as much. I mean, obviously the next two, for us were pretty special because they were in St. Paul, and obviously it was like a home game for us, so it was pretty cool. But no, I think you learn. I think the players have learned. Usually in a normal year, today is really a crazy day. Usually you come in on Tuesday, and today is guys are excited, but there's a lot of media stuff, and it's a long day, and those are just little things that I think when you go through that for the first time, it makes it an even longer day. But if you're prepared for that. So it's not necessarily just the games and what goes on the rink during the games. It's some of the stuff, like you said, the lead up to it, just being ready for some of that. This year is obviously a little bit different, or a lot different from that side of it. But we've got a lot of guys that, the good thing, Jim, is we've got guys that have been through it. They've lived through some ups and downs. They understand how tough the games are. They understand how tough it is to do it. And I think, that really helps. And I think, the more you get to those opportunities, and doesn't mean you're going to win all the time, but just to get to those opportunities and get that experience, I think it helps your players. It doesn't guarantee anything, but it does help. And I think, like I said earlier, our older guys have been real good this year, and really focused on being good leaders and leading this team to wherever we were going to go. And obviously we're here, to have a chance to win again. But again, it's one step at a time.
All right, thanks, Jim. Next up, Matt Wellens. Matt, please go ahead.
Matt Wellens from the Duluth News Tribune and the Rink Live. Scott, I know it got disallowed in the first overtime against North Dakota there, but that goal that Koby Bender and Koby Roth put together, I feel like we've seen that one multiple times this year. How much does that play kind of exemplify the chemistry those two have built playing together this year?
Probably sums it up to a T. I mean, I think that whole line since they've been together has really played well off each other and generated a lot for us. And they've been a huge factor in a lot of our games. And obviously, that play was a great play. It's just unfortunate it got called back. But no, it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch those guys. Certainly, Koby Roth's been a big part of our group, and Koby Bender has had an unbelievable year for us as a senior, and Jackson in the middle. He's a great compliment. They all complement each other, and I like what I've seen, and what they've done for our team, and hopefully that continues for a couple more games.
All right, thanks, Matt. Don, your line should be open. Please go ahead.
Hi, Scott. This is Dawn Mitchell from Fox 9 in Minneapolis. My question is, I know you joked about it being survival, and thank God you have leadership. So mental toughness will set this year apart from any other. So coaching-wise, if you get past UMass and you got to battle UMass to get there, is this more meaningful this year as a coach because you've had so many things to deal with that you are really out of your control?
It's a great question. I mean, let's face it; these are all meaningful, right? It's a very difficult place to get to. Our college hockey is so competitive. There's so many good teams, and to have the opportunity to get back here, but it might a little bit more because I think the sacrifices the players have made, the trainers, administrations, everybody, it does make it probably a little bit more special that way, just because there's been a lot of stress and anxiety week to week. There's been a lot of pivoting, maybe not for everybody, but everyone's had to deal with that or seen that happen. So, yeah, probably a little bit, but these all have great meaning, and it's special to get to this Frozen Four, and hopefully, like I said, get past the first game. You get an opportunity to play in the last game of the year, which is what everybody's goal is.
Thanks, Don. Sam, your line is open. Please go ahead.
Sam Ali, Fox 21. Scott, when you heard about the 4 players that weren't going to be playing for UMass, did the game plan change in any way, or the way that you're going to be approaching tomorrow night's game?
No. I mean, they're a good team. They're a good team. I mean, players get hurt. Good players get hurt. Teams miss good players. Other players step up. No, they're not going to change the way they play because they're missing a couple guys. They're going to play hard. They're a hard-working team. They're well coached. They're going to play with pace. They're going to come at us. They're going to pressure. They've got some really good forwards. They've got a great back end, very mobile. So no, it really hasn't changed. Again, like I said earlier, we got to put our plan together, and we've got to try and execute our plan regardless of their lineup. So we know it's going to be a tough challenge. Just like it is every time when you play at this time of the year against great teams. And so it really hasn't deviated. Again, our focus is going to be more on what we need to do and be aware of some of the things that they're going to do. And hopefully we come out on top.
All right. Thanks, Sam. Jason, over to you.
Yep, Jason Scales with Inside Hockey again. Coach, just wondering on a personal level, how do you find the balance of being at the Frozen Four as a coach and as a hockey dad, with your son playing for Minnesota State? Like, how do you, find the balance, if you're even able to?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm excited for him and their program. There's no question. We had a pretty excited household after they beat Minnesota and we advanced. So it was nice that we were first, but I got to enjoy watching the game. And I'll watch, his game tomorrow and in some capacity, but it's a pretty exciting time. It's a pretty unique situation that we're both here and have a chance. Hopefully we're fortunate to play each other, but we'll deal with that later because we've got a big game in front of us. But it's been fun. For me, I've just talked to him like I normally do and leaving him alone, let him enjoy this moment with his team, and I'm just trying to do my job with our team.
Great question, Jason. Jim, back to you.
Thanks, Fish. Scott, Jim Connolly again from USCHO. When you look at UMass on tape, do you feel like sometimes you're watching a little bit of your team, built well defensively, heavy, mobile defense, opportunistic, good goaltending? Do you feel like there's some similarities?
Yes, very much so. And I think, the way they play, I mean, you kind of put it to a T, right? They play fast. They can play heavy. They have a good I call it ground game offensively. Their team is built a lot like our teams of the past, right? Their strength, goaltending and D, and a really balanced forward attack, some dangerous players. But they've got really good depth, and I like how they play. So, but very, very, very similar in some respects. Yes, Jim.
I don't. All right, Bruce, your line is open. Welcome. Let's see if we got Bruce on here. I don't think Bruce will come back to you, but Matt, go ahead.
Matt Wellens from the Duluth News Tribune and Rink Live. Scott, Lars joked earlier today during St. Cloud's press conference. He now knows where you go, where you went all the time on Wednesdays and such on these practice days. I'm wondering for you, how different though has today felt and this entire experience so far since getting into town on Monday, or has the pandemic kind of normalized things like not having media at practices or doing these press conferences on Zoom and such?
We've gone through it all year, Matt, and obviously the regional last week was the same. So, again, it's different. But I think it's felt fairly normal based on the year for sure. But, it's fine. We're all hoping we can get back to, having press conferences and seeing faces and doing that stuff. So it's been fine, but definitely a little bit different.
All right, thanks, Matt. Sam, back to you.
Sam Ali, Fox 21. Scott, it's also a big week for your wife, who gets to see her husband and her son in the Frozen Four. Kind of what has she meant to both of you guys to follow in your journey and in Ryan's as well?
Somebody once told me to be a successful coach, you need a good goalie, you need a dog, and you need a great wife. And so I've definitely got that with her. I think she's been awesome. She's the support that you need. She's the sounding board, probably not just for me, but also for Ryan and my daughter Katie when they're going through stuff. So no, she's been, and it's a long time. It's a long time to be a coach's wife, and obviously I think the hockey mom part is probably the harder part. But no, she's been outstanding, and she's been so supportive for everybody. But she's the brains of the family for sure.
All right, Coach Sandelin, thanks very much for your time. Very best of luck tomorrow night, and we appreciate it.
Yep, thanks.
Good luck.